Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren from Guthrie and Ganny, and in this video I'll be sharing with you the live recording of the question and answer session that I did over on the Instagram platform on Monday the 11th of December, and this will be my last question and answer session for 2023. So if you've been watching along this year and listening and asking questions, thank you so much for tuning in. I find it very inspiring to hear what you're making and listen to all of your questions and everything, so keep them coming in for 2024. So in this week's question list, I've got all of your sewing and dressmaking question advice, requests, and looking for tips on different pattern and fabric combinations. So as ever, lots of ideas and inspiration to be had. And if you are watching here on YouTube and you would like to contribute anything or ask any questions that I can add to a future Q&A next year, then just leave them in the comments below. So I'm going to pop over to the live recording now, switch over to that. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for everybody who's joining the live. It's nice to see you. Hope you're all doing well. You've had a nice weekend, and yeah, ready for the last live for 2023. So yeah, this will be the last week before I sort of stop for the Christmas break, and then I'll be back again with you in next year. I was trying to work out the dates. I'm not entirely sure when I'll start again, because I think the 1st of January is a Monday, isn't it? So I might do one on that day. But yeah, we're usually quite busy in the shop at that time of year. So sometimes the shop's a bit full on. But yeah, I'll see. I'm gonna miss you, because I like chatting to you every Monday. So yeah, I don't think I've got anything brand new to show you. We're not really getting like brand new things in so close to Christmas. I'm going to chat to you about the Sewing Society kits that were released last week, and then yeah, a nice little selection of questions too. So hopefully lots of fun, light-hearted dressmaking and sewing chat that you can just get lost in for the next hour or so. And please feel free to ask any questions or chat along. I'll read out the comments and questions as we go along as well. So hello Lauren, I'm making your Christmas crackers as I watched tonight. How festive. Yeah, we do still have some of the cracker packs left. They are on sale as well, so you get they're like the fabric crackers with the little tubes inside, and you just fill in your own chocolates. And I think it was 2 years ago I first made them, and went like a little bit overboard and made like little crowns out of glittery card that we could reuse every year, and it's quite fun. You can like think up your own jokes and stuff. I also tried one year to put like a truth or dare, and I personalised it for everyone who was like going to be at the Christmas table, and I like put a tag around it with everybody's names. I don't know, maybe it's just my family, nobody really wanted to play it, but yeah, it can be like a fun way to play a game as well. So yeah, I digress. We're talking about crackers. But good evening everyone. Hi from wherever you are. Oh, the blouse really suits you, thanks. So I thought it would be quite festive picking the red. It is a really lovely, nice red, festive red. So yeah, I'll chat to you about that first of all. So the kits that we released last week is the one that I'm wearing just now. So it's the Fibre Mood Gladys blouse. So we've given, the kit is to make the blouse, but the pattern actually does come with a dress version as well, which I have also made. The dress is really nice. So you do get the pattern pieces for the dress, but you get the fabric to make the blouse version. And we had 3 different colorways of this. So it's 100% viscose. It's a viscose crepe, so you probably can't, the camera's probably not really picking it up, because it just sort of looks like a plain color, but you can see it more in real life obviously. It's just got a really nice crepe texture to it, which I think is quite nice. When you make something that's plain, you kind of want some other sort of depth to the fabric, or like some other characteristics. This is a really nice one. So yeah, we had this festive red, and then we also had these 2 colorways as well. So this is the sea pine green, and then this is the petrol blue, I think, or petrol denim. I can't remember that what we call the colour now. So it does actually come, I'm going to show you this one because you can see here that it's got the frill that goes along the yoke, and then the frill also goes up and over the sleeve head, and then it goes along the back yoke as well. So it's a really nice detail. But we've just shown you some options that aren't in the pattern, but they're really easy to make. Obviously I tell you how to do it in the tips video, but yeah, you can just have the little ruffle like at the front and at the back rather than up over the sleeve head if you felt like maybe that was like a bit too much. And then in this version here I've just halved it, so then it's like a little bit more of a subtle ruffle there if you didn't want to go full on ruffle, but I actually really like it. So we don't have any of the red kits left, but we do have some of that fabric by the meter. I don't think I pulled it out. Yeah, we do have some of the cherry red viscose crepe by the meter still available. It's, you know, it's nice for like any sort of little blouses and tops and things you might be making just now. But we do have a few of these, both of these colourways left. So they are online now. These two are still available. And then I also wanted to show you that we do just have some other colourways of this fabric. It's actually a really nice one. As I said, it's good if you're wanting something plain, but you want it just to have some other kind of like characteristic to it so that it's not totally plain and boring. You know, it's just, yeah, it's just got a really nice texture. So this is like an ochre one. Let me just see what colour we've actually called it. Amber gold crinkle viscose. So that's a nice one there. And then we've also got this one here, which has got a bit more sort of like lilac-y kind of purple vibes to it. This is the violet crinkle here. Which is also a really nice vibrant one too. So yeah, good for all sort of tops and blouses. Does the pattern come with different cup sizes? I'm afraid it doesn't. This one, it doesn't come with different cup sizes. It doesn't have a bust dart either. It is just like quite a sort of, I suppose it is quite a kind of simple, kind of straight bodice in that sense. So it would be fairly straightforward if you wanted to do a bust adjustment or add in a dart. You could do that, but unfortunately it doesn't come with different cup sizes, I'm afraid. So yeah, that is the Gladys blouse kit. And then we also had the Sotac Patterns Portland tote kit, which I knew you guys would love. Two of the colourways of that have sold out already. Let me just grab the samples of that one, but we do still have some of the tan colourway left. So this is a really lovely sized bag. This is it here, and the outer fabric is British Millerain dry waxed cotton, so it's like water repellent. You know, if you splashed water on it, you'd just be able to sort of brush it off. You'd see it kind of just beading on the surface. And it's really versatile because you can basically carry it like that. So you know, kind of be like down by your side. It's not really long enough to like do that, but what you can do then is with this strap, which is detachable, so you can just unhook it with those little swivel hooks there, is that you can have it crossbody like this, and then the strap is adjustable. So if you do like wearing your handbag over your shoulder, then all you need to do is just adjust the length of the strap like that, so it's got a little slider on it as well, and then it's a bit more of like a length that you would kind of wear over your shoulder. So if you've got our bag kits before and you know of the Pepin tote, the noodle head Pepin tote, it was a really popular one. It's a little bit smaller than that one. So yeah, I think it's you can still fit a lot in it. You know, it's got the clever corners, so it's got that depth and thickness to it, which means it can absorb quite a lot of stuff. And then it's got a little magnetic snap in the front pocket, and then inside you've also got a zip pocket, which is good for keeping things more secure, and then also like a little sort of slider pocket in and out too. Some nice stripy lining. So we do still have some of the tan colourway left. It's likely that we will have some of the fabric for the other ones as well, but I'm not entirely sure when that's going to be ready to be like listed by the meter. So if you were interested in the fabric just by the meter, maybe like you got one of the bag kits but then you want the bits and pieces to make another one, then just drop us an email and we can let you know when we've got that fabric available by the meter. So yeah, I did bring over the information thing as well, so I could tell you the prices. So the Portland tote kit is £58 for everything, and then the Gladys blouse kit is £55 for up to the size 18. and it's $59 for up to the size 32. Although I've got a feeling that up to the size 32 might be sold out now. So yeah, that was our last kits of 2023. So we don't release a brand new kit in January, just because we need like a little bit of a pause to catch breath at the start of the year and just after Christmas and everything. So it'll be February when we release like a brand new kit. But yeah, definitely still check your inboxes on the first Wednesday of January, because we know that you like to receive some Sewing Society news on that day. Okay, I can't wait to get stuck into the bag. It's such a lovely style. Honestly, it's so satisfying to sew. I absolutely loved making the sample. It was really, really, really satisfying. I am making the Fibermood Paula sweater. It doesn't have a neckband and calls for bias tape. Should this be stretch fabric? Can I use ribbing? I can't actually picture that one, but I suspect it probably does need to stretch. If it's a sweater, I'm imagining that it does need to be stretchy so that you can get it on and off over your head. But yeah, I think without seeing the pattern or the way it's designed, it's like hard for me to answer that one accurately. Okay, the other things that were on my list to chat to you about was, okay, so in relation to the kit, somebody was asking, so in the photos of the sample of this one on the kit listing, I'm wearing a sequin skirt, like a multicolored sequin skirt. I'm really sorry to tell you, it's not a handmade one. I didn't make that one myself. I bought that in the Anthropology sale quite a few years ago. And I usually bring it out at Christmas time, so it's like very sparkly. It's like a big long maxi skirt. And I'm sorry that I was wearing something that I hadn't made. In my defence, I didn't have many options because not that many clothes fit me right now, because my body is kind of changing as my baby bump grows. So I had to try and work out what I could wear with the blouses that still fitted me. And it does have an elasticated waist. So it was a strong option. But yeah, I'm sorry that I can't help you to recreate exactly that because I didn't make it, so apologies. But okay, Sue's asking, out of the 3 coat kits I have, which is the easiest, as I've cut everything out and want to start with the easier? Remind me what 3 ones you have again, Sue, and I'll see if I can point you in the right direction. Okay, so one thing that we were talking about last week was the timestamps on YouTube. So when I post the recording on YouTube, I had previously been adding in timestamp chapters for when I answer all the questions that are sent in beforehand. And yeah, I've sort of let it slip recently, basically, because I've just had too much else on, because it takes quite a lot of time to do it. So thank you for everybody who commented and shared their thoughts on the timestamp chapters. Obviously, you're going to get, I was always going to get like a range of different answers, but I would say the general consensus was that they're not like essentially needed. But I think a good compromise is that I can put timestamp chapters in for like the key things that I talk about. So like if I'm showing new fabrics, or maybe if I'm giving Sewing Society clues or something like that, or then when I get on to actually answer the questions, and I could still put in all of the questions that I answer, but just not necessary, because I type them out anyway, so just copy and paste that in. But yeah, it does just take quite a bit of time to like find out the exact time that I answer them. So yeah, we'll go with that as a bit of a compromise. Okay, Emma's asking, do you have any fabric recommendations for the True Bias Blair skirt, which is a button-down skirt with a belt? Yeah, someone else asked about that actually, and she was using the Desert Cotton Twill, which does come in lots of other colourways as well. It's just like a regular sort of 100% cotton twill. It's like non-stretch, and I think that would be good. It's got a nice amount of structure for it. You could definitely use a denim as well for that. We've got loads of different types of denim, so a denim one would be nice too. So yeah, a couple of options there. Okay, then the other things that I wanted to just let you know about, I'm going to pop these Sewing Society samples to the side. is that we had a restock of quite a few like popular fabrics, this being one of them. This is the party woof. It's like a lightweight sweatshirting, basically a fleece back sweatshirt fabric, but it's pretty lightweight. It's more like it's like the weight of a French terry really, but it has been brushed on the back, and yeah, it's been really popular, so I just thought I'd let you know that it was back again. It's got lots of fun dogs on it. And then we've also had a restock of the bubble cords as well. These ones too. So so it's the bubble cord in the front. Obviously you can see it's like corduroy, and it's got those lines on it, but it doesn't really have as much of an obvious nap like regular cord does. It's got this other texture to it, which is the bubble part. So yeah, it's really nice, very textured, and then on the back it is lined with this lovely, cozy, fluffy kind of fur back. So all of the different colorways of the cord have the same backing, the same like cream backing, and I've seen people use it for all sorts. The Friday Pattern Company Ilford is a popular one, but yeah, we've got the pink backing. We've got this one, which is the cinnamon colorway. It's really nice for this time of year. And then this one's like a little bit brighter. This is the sage one here. So yeah, they are back in stock again. Let me see. Okay, so Sue's got the Narva, the Clear Coat, and the Grainline Studio. Yeah, that was the Yates. I would probably say they're actually all probably quite similar. I'm gonna say maybe not the Narva, only because the boiled wool is probably just a little bit, potentially like a little bit harder to work with than the wool that was in the Clear and the Yates, because that wool is like a bit more stable, whereas the boiled wool moves around a little bit. I would say the Clear Coat and the Yates coat are probably like pretty similar, to be honest. It depends if you're doing the bound buttonholes in the Clear. If you want to do that, then I would do the Yates first. But they're both pretty straightforward. Late joining, congratulations. What have I missed? I'm pregnant. Thank you everybody for your congratulations. Okay, so the next question was, can you show the stamped stars viscose please? Is it more of a black background or a grey? So this is the stamped stars viscose here. Let me just check the tag. So I would probably say it's more like a really dark charcoal rather than a black. I don't know, I usually think when you look at black, like things can be like really, really dark, but I would say it's like a very, very dark charcoal grey. So yeah, I think it depends if you're like trying to match it to anything. Remember, we do little swatches as well, so you'd always get that for like a little colour match. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Okay, then the next question was, I'm planning to make a check flannel shirt for my 5-year-old boy. That sounds so cute. Can anyone suggest tried and tested boy shirt pattern? So I haven't tried and tested it, but Waves and Wild have the sunset shirt pattern, and Waves and Wild pattern, I've made other ones of their patterns and they're always really good, so I'm sure that one is a good one. So yeah, Waves and Wild sunset shirt for that one. And then please can you advise on check pattern placement? If I cut yoke on the diagonal, what other pattern pieces should I cut on the diagonal to give it a consistent look? Some people do like the button band, if that's like a detached, like, you know, a separate bit of fabric, you could do the button band, or maybe if there's pockets, you could do them as well. Maybe like the cuffs. I think it's just up to you really. You could definitely just do the back yoke if you wanted to. I don't think there's any like strict rules on that. Okay, so then the next question was, any tips on pairing colour / type of buttons to a garment? I can't tell what works on what. I would say that generally when you've got like buttons on a garment, you kind of have to decide whether you want them to be like a feature and to stand out, or whether you want them to like blend in a little bit more. So obviously on something like this where it's a plain fabric, we've gone for a button that's like a little bit more kind of detailed. So the buttons for this kit, they're coloured to match the actual fabric. So we sent little swatches of the fabric off, and then they made the buttons to like match the fabric exactly. And you know, they're like really delicate, they're lightweight, and that's because they're a feature. Whereas it might be that maybe the fabric is sort of patterned, or maybe it's got spots on it or something, so then you don't really want the buttons to like clash with that. You kind of almost want the buttons to blend in which case going for something plain is going to be better, because then it just sort of blends in a little bit. So I would say that's probably the first thing to think about when you're trying to pick buttons. And then the other thing to think about as well is just the weight of the fabric that you're actually working with. So, you know, if it is a very lightweight viscose fabric like this one, then you do want a button that's going to be quite lightweight, really, don't you? You want something that's like shell, or that's Carozo, or even like a polyester button, and it's going to be quite lightweight, and it's going to pair nicely with the fabric. Whereas, you know, if you were maybe making like a jacket out of some cotton canvas or something, or cotton twill that was much heavier, then obviously that could take like a much heavier, bigger button. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Okay, somebody's just saying, I just ordered the bag as a Christmas present from my husband to me. That sounds like a great idea. I also have to do stuff like that as well. Not in relation to kits, obviously, but yeah, I know the feeling. Okay, the next question was, when a fabric is labelled something like enzyme or sand washed, mostly linens, I guess, do you still need to pre-wash them? So I'm going to say yes for this. We do have a range of enzyme cotton linens, which is like a sort of regular stock item that we've had for a long time. I've used it to make lots of things, dungarees and trousers and that sort of stuff in the summer. And my preference is always to still pre-wash it, just because I think, I don't know, I'm trying to give you like a solid reason why. I think even though it's labelled as like enzyme, it's basically it's been like pre-treated with some kind of enzyme to like break it down a little bit. But I just still wouldn't really like trust that the full shrinkage situation was going to be taken care of. You want to get that out of the way before you come to cut your fabric out. So I would say yes. With sand washed, again, I would say the same thing. I'm trying to think. I've probably used enzyme treated stuff more than I've used sand wash stuff, but I would generally say yes, just to be on the safe side. Okay, the next question was rib knits. Do you have to use them with patterns specifically for ribs, or can you use them with other stretch patterns? You can definitely use them for other stretch patterns as well. Really with a rib knit, they tend to be really stretchy because the stretchiness just comes from the way that they've been knitted, and that they've got those ribs in them. So yeah, and then it also depends on what composition they are as well, because then that can affect like how they drape. So we've had some viscose rib knits. I've got some here actually, because they're an answer to another question here. So this is a red rib knit here, and it's a viscose blend, and because it's got viscose in it, it's really floppy. And you can see it's like really stretchy as well. But then I don't have an example to show you, but we did have a rib knit in a kit a few years ago. It was actually a cotton rib knit, and it actually, because it was cotton, it wasn't as drapey, and it actually wasn't as stretchy either. So I would still say the main thing to consider is that, you know, if you're pairing it with a pattern that's got like a specific, it recommends a specific amount of percentage stretch in the fabric, and remember that refers to the physical amount that the fabric's stretching. It's not the percentage of elastane. You need to measure the physical percentage of stretch that it's got. So on all of our stretch fabric listings on the website, we have that. And so then, yeah, if the pattern is recommending like a specific type of percentage of stretch, you just need to make sure that's compatible, basically. Okay, so the next question was, will you share sewing plans during pregnancy? I am too, and I'm looking for inspiration. I mean, yeah, sure. I thought it might. So this is going to be my third baby. So you know, I've been like through 2 pregnancies already, and like sewn for them. And I would probably say the first one, I kind of was maybe like a bit more motivated to like make things that were like specifically for like maternity or nursing. But what I actually found was, and I was just like generally thinking about it a little bit more, is that the clothes that I make, like I do tend to keep them like for years. I've got stuff that I still wear regularly that I've like literally had for years. And obviously you're not pregnant for years. Well, you might be, but maybe probably not. So I don't know, I feel like less motivated to like make things that are like very, very specific to pregnancy, only because I feel like I just won't really get like that much use out of them. So then what I've found more useful is actually just making things that aren't specifically for maternity. They're just maybe like the style of them is just kind of a bit more compatible to like having a different shaped body. And I've just found that like a bit more, I guess, like satisfying or like useful, because then the clothes have just then lasted me for longer. So my kind of go-to generally in pregnancy and then afterwards as well is generally like stuff that is loose, that I can like, that can kind of absorb a growing bump, and then also that's like easy to lift up for nursing afterwards. And then I just combine it with vest tops. I'm like just loads and loads of vest tops, and I did actually buy quite a lot of like specific maternity / nursing vest tops before. But I think this time what I'm going to do is basically make lots of the True by Zoe tanks in the Tencel Derby, the Meat Milk Tencel Derby ribbed fabric, because it's so stretchy, and it's, yeah, I'll probably just make them a bit longer than what I usually do. So that's my plan at the moment, but yeah, I'll let you know what I'm making. Okay, somebody's saying, I can't imagine how much work goes into creating and sending the Sewing Society kits. Huge thanks to you and the team. Oh, that's nice. You have impeccable taste and the videos really do elevate my makes. Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you. So agree, fab taste in fabrics and kits. Yeah, they do take a lot of planning. But yeah, I do now have like some dedicated people within the team that help me with that. So yeah, I've got Becca who helps me with all of the kits and making the samples and videos and stuff, and then yeah, Charlie works super hard building all of the kits and shipping them out, and then the team sort of support when it comes to like shipping them out and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a team effort. It's a lot of work, but we love doing it for you because we love helping you to make nice clothes. I'm a million years past pregnancy, but I love my Sudley dress, and that would accommodate anything. Yeah, I've like styles like that. Yeah, the Megan Nielsen Sudley that are just, you know, they're like quite loose and just move around a lot. Yeah, things like that are definitely compatible with different body shapes. Okay, so the next question was sewing a wool suiting blazer at the moment. I've interfaced sections of the blazer bubble when pressed. Fixable. I think you could just try pressing it some more, because if it's bubbling, then it's because the interfacing's not totally fused to the fabric. So I would like make sure you're using a pressing cloth, and ideally if you can press it from both sides and then let it cool, so that you know, as the glue on the interfacing melts, it's then like sticking to the fabric, but then you want to let it cool to like get it to really try and stick. So I would give that a go. Okay, then another interfacing related one. I ironed interfacing to the right side of some viscose. How best to remove residue? I've pulled most of it off. If you don't have enough fabric to like recut the piece, then it sounds like you probably need to try and heat it up a little bit to get the glue like tacky and sticky again, so you can try to like get it, like pick it off, or sort of like try to rub it off a little bit. So yeah, I would try to you probably want, if the residue's on the right side of the fabric, I would like put something on your ironing board and then try to iron it from the wrong side of the fabric, so you're not putting the iron like directly on the glue residue that's left, to try and like heat it up a little bit, and then you might find that you can kind of rub or sort of pick off some of it more there. Okay, then we've got, how can I add a slit to a skirt made with jersey fabric? So I suppose it depends where you want the slit. So either if you're doing it in the side seams, then you could just then not sew part of the side seam, and then you would just want to sew the seam allowance down, like either side of that, and then do like a little sort of line of horizontal stitching at the top. It might be maybe you want to use some stretch interfacing just to stabilize it at the top. If you were then if you wanted to do it, maybe if you wanted to do it say at the back, I would consider, can you put a centre back seam in, because it's going to be easier to put a slit in if you've got a seam there. If you want to put it in somewhere where you've not got a seam and you just want to like cut a slit in it, then I don't know, it depends on maybe like the style of the skirt and like the weight of the fabric and everything, because you're going to need something to like stabilize where you cut that open. Like you need to sort of make a little facing that you then turn to the inside, but then you'd probably want to like stitch that down on the inside. So you could do that, but that'll obviously add weight to it. So if it's then like a very lightweight fabric, it might sort of affect how it drapes a little bit. So yeah, a few things to think about there. Okay, the next one was, how do you iron the stretch velvet for seams/ties? It's a good question, because that stretch velvet velour fabric is polyester. I'm going to be honest, you can't really press it because it won't really take a crease because it's polyester. So really what you just, when I made my dress, my Tilly and the Buttons Joni dress, I'm going to be honest, I didn't press a single thing because I thought it's probably just going to be kind of pointless. So yeah, I just don't think you can. I used pins. You can use clips if you wanted to try and help sort of control things as you're sewing them. But yeah. Okay, Megan saying don't do it ironing the velvet. Yeah, I generally feel like it's probably not going to really gain you that much, and yeah, because it's polyester and it won't really take a crease, but it can melt with the iron. So yeah. Okay, the next question was, when using Mariflex, is it normal for the stitch to shrink? Should you go bigger? Yeah, the Gutermann do suggest that you lengthen the stitch length a little bit. Sometimes I'll lengthen it to like 3 or 3.5. So yeah, it is normal that you'd have to lengthen it a little bit. What other questions have I missed here? Would love a behind the scenes video on the kit creating process. Okay, interesting. Can add that to the list. I'd really love to see the oatmeal double cotton fleece if possible. Do you think it would be good for making a throw for the sofa? I don't think it's anywhere totally close to me right now, so I'm sorry that I can't show you. I think you probably could make a throw for the sofa. Yeah. You put like a nice little bit of binding around the edge or something. Any tips on how to rescue a gone wrong buttonhole in my boiled wool sunny jacket? Tell me what's gone wrong with it. In what way has it gone wrong? Tilly and the Buttons stretch book has a pattern for a stretch skirt, pencil style with a slit in it. Excellent, good to know. A sewing project with no pressing, my dream. Any suggestions for a really versatile jacket pattern that can be used with both summer and winter weight fabrics, please? Friday Pattern Company Ilford is a classic. The other one that's quite a good one is the Helen's Closet Moss jacket as well. It depends whether you want it to like fasten up or not, because that one can be made in all sorts of fabric. You know, you can make it out of like a, you know, like a warmer, thicker, even wool fabric in the winter, but you could just make it out of like a linen in the summer. It's got stuck and it's too short and not complete. So if it's too short, I think that's a good thing, because then you just make it longer. And if it's not gone all the way round, then what I would probably do is just switch your machine to a zigzag stitch and then change the settings to make it like, you know, the sort of what a buttonhole, you know, setting would do. So if you have to do the sides, then you know, you probably want maybe like a 1.5 or a 2 millimeter width on it, and maybe like a length of, I don't know, say like 0.5, but try it on a little scrap so that you can see that it looks like the same as your actual buttonhole. And then when you come to do the end of the buttonhole, then just make the zigzag a lot wider so that it goes the whole width of the buttonhole. Okay, Lauren, I've literally just gone and bought the bag kit as a present from my husband to myself for Christmas. Excellent idea. Any suggestions for a skirt with Ponte Roma fabric? Thinking of a simple knee buttons along both sides, sailor style. I'm not sure about the buttons along both sides, but yeah, somebody was just suggesting a skirt that's in the Tilly and the Buttons book. Where did that go? In the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, there's a pattern for a stretch pencil skirt. And so yeah, you could use Ponte with that. I wonder if you could maybe just just add on the buttons along the sides, like as you know, just put it on so that they're more like decorative than functional. It would probably be like easy enough to do. Okay, the next question was, I have some velvet with a lurex stripe running across the width. The stretch is 70% across the width and 40% across the length. Can I cut the pattern so that the stripes are vertical, or will the drape, etc. be compromised? I think it depends on what you're making, because if you're making something where you need the 70% stretch, you know, if it's something that's got a lot of negative ease or it's very tightly fitted, then yeah, you are going to have to do it that way, or you know, then you have to think about sizing up and that sort of thing. Whereas if it's something that is like a bit looser, you don't need the 70% stretch, if the 40% stretch is enough, then yeah, you can definitely do it and just switch the direction of the stripes. I don't think it would affect the drape significantly, but yeah, it probably depends on what you're making. Okay, then the next one was, I'm making the True Bias landers, and I wondered if I could do I can't read my writing because this one came in this one came in last minute and it's not typed. Oh, what have I written? Basically, I think the question was, could I do it without the waistband and just extend the darts up? So I think you probably could. The Closet Core Mitchell trousers are a bit like that, so they don't have a normal sort of waistband that you see. Those darts just come straight up, but then you need something to like hold the trousers up. So then you'd have to create your own facing that was going to sit on the inside of the garment, so that that was stabilized, so that the trousers kind of had something to like hang from, like something to attach you from, and then you know, then you're going to need like a hook and bar, or you'd still need a buttonhole like at the top anyway to hold the waistband closed. So yeah, I think it probably could be done with a bit of like fiddling around. Okay, the next question here is, I'm having problems with my overlocker and I can see the left needle thread on the right side of the fabric, and it doesn't look like it's looping properly in the wrong side. It sounds like maybe you just need to like unthread it and start again. That would be like my first thing to try. What have I done here? I have bought the bag kit for my daughter for her birthday, Christmas Eve. Happy birthday. Will she be able to access your tips video okay and join the Facebook group, as I bought it in my name? Yeah, that's fine. Just forward her the email that you got, and she'll have the links to the video, and yeah, that'll be no probs. I've just been browsing your Just Arrived section and seen that lovely petrol, my favourite colour, interlock. Any pattern suggestions, please? Petrol interlock. I don't know what fabric that is off the top of my head. You know, Joe and Leslie, who work in the shop on a Monday, like they always do such an amazing job of like making it really nice and neat and tidy here. But I'm gonna be honest, the rest of the shop is quite eclectic right now. So I don't actually know what that fabric is. I'm really sorry. Okay, the next question was, I'm making the True Bias Blair skirt and I've bought the Desert Sand cotton twill from you. Could you show any suitable lining fabrics that you have to go with it? I'm afraid I didn't bring any over. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I've not got any to show you. But we do have some like typical sort of viscose line, like slippery ones, if it was something slippery that you wanted. And we've got like some neutral colours that I think would definitely go with the sand. Sorry that I don't have any to actually show you. But yeah, we do have various selection of like the slippery viscose lining, so you can check them out on the website. And if you're wanting to see how that fabric looks with specific lining fabrics, then you can always just email us and Hannah will take a picture of them and send them to you. Okay, the next question was, some of you might have ideas for this as well. My mother bought some beautiful fabrics for me recently which have a very pronounced border print. What are your and the community's favourite patterns to incorporate cool bordered prints? Any tips? So I would say if you've got a border print, then you want something that's like quite simple, that's going to mean that you can sort of display that. So something that's not got too many like sections or seams in it at all is good. So either like a sort of simple shift dress style that's quite straight, or like you know, a simple kind of top, something like the Merchant Mills Camber or the Helen's Closet Ashton is good. And then also things where you've got like a gathered tier or a gathered section to it, because they tend to be just like straight rectangles. So then it means that you can just cut the border print like out on that section. So something like the Tilly and the Buttons Indigo is good, because the skirt section on that can be a top or a dress, but it is just a rectangle, so then it's quite easy to cut the border print out on that. The Named Patterns Taika, which is a skirt and a dress, more like a summery dress. I've made the skirt and the dress version of that, and it's got gathered tiers that are just rectangles as well. And then the Friday Pattern Company Wilders, another one. You know, there's lots, but that's sort of, hopefully you get the idea. Anything that's got like a gathered panel in it is also good for that. Okay, I made a lightweight jumper with a similar interlock jersey. Petrol cotton interlock jersey, 60% two-way stretch. Ah, yeah, I know the one you mean. It's kind of like, yeah, it's like a sort of heavier weight t-shirt kind of fabric. But instead of like regular t-shirt fabric, or like single knit jersey where it's got like a distinctive right and wrong side, when it's interlock it kind of looks the same on both sides. So yeah, it's good for, I've got a feeling it doesn't, and someone who's maybe seen the listing will be able to tell me, I've got a feeling that it doesn't have any elastane in it. I think it's just cotton, in which case the recovery is not, it's not got the elastane to like bounce back into shape. So although it's stretchy, it's not going to have recovery that a fabric that has elastane in it has. So I would probably say don't make anything that's too tight fitted, because it'll feel like it bags out a little bit. But if you make something that's a bit more looser fitted, then it should be fine. Okie doke. What else have I missed here? There's the other questions. Closet cord next dress would be great for a border print. Yeah, indeed, because it's got all those gathered panels as well. Any pattern for a boiled wool gilet? The I Am Patterns Hathor is a really popular gilet, but there are quite a few other gilets, but that's the one I always seem to remember. But it's quite versatile. You can use that with lots of different fabrics. Could I make the Waves and Wild Sunset shirt as a shacket for my grandson using the bubble cord? Would I have to size up? I think you probably would have to size up, yeah, because it is quite a sort of bulky, thick fabric. Because I would maybe also think about what he might wear underneath it, because if it's a shacket, then he might maybe wear like a jumper underneath it as well, or something, you know, like a sort of thicker jumper or whatever. So you might want to like build that in, whereas if it was just like an actual shirt, then he might just wear the actual shirt. Whereas if it's the shacket, I think you'd want to size up anyway, because it's the much thicker, bulkier fabric, and then also because what you wear underneath it would maybe be different. The assembly line multi-sleeve midi dress is perfect for fabric with a border. Yeah, a lot of the assembly line designs are like quite simple, so they would definitely look at generally the assembly line as well. The True Bias Roscoe, another good border print option. Have you made any yoga pants? Which pattern and fabric? I've made leggings before. I've used the Megan Nielsen Virginia, and I've made the Helen's Closet Avery leggings. So we've got a micro medal and a navy and a black, which is a really nice fabric for leggings. We did that as a kit. I actually had them on earlier today. And then we do also have like sportswear fabric as well, which is really stretchy, so you could use that too. We've got some plains and some prints too, so you can check them out. Check out the sportswear fabric too. But yeah, I probably have like a slight preference for the Helen's Closet Avery leggings, but yeah, the Megan Nielsen Virginias are nice as well. Okay, the next one was bias skirt pattern, please. There's lots of bias skirts at the moment. The Tessuti Evie looked like a nice one, and then also I found that on the Oliver and S website they've got a tutorial that shows you how to use the Garibaldi A-line skirt pattern, which is just like a regular A-line skirt pattern, but it's a tutorial for how to cut it out on the bias and like how to then make it into a bias skirt with an elasticated waist. So that could be a good one to look at, maybe if you already have like generally an A-line skirt pattern and you want some tips and guidance for cutting it out on the bias. Then that's an option too. Okay, the next one was fabric for Tilling the Buttons BB Pinafore. I've got a feeling that the BB Pinafore, is that not the one that's in the stretch book that you can actually make as a pencil skirt as well? Which is good for Ponte Roma, and I've picked the wool jersey that we've got for this. So we originally had this in navy, couldn't get any more navy, and then we've now got it in indigo. So yeah, it's going to be nice and warm because it's wool, and yeah, it's that sort of nice kind of more stable Ponte Roma weight as well. Okay, maybe take a look at swim style patterns for yoga pants. Yeah, they've got loads of really nice ones, don't they? I always forget about them. Okay, the next question was, I'm looking to make a true bias Nico dress. Can you recommend a dark knit or a ribbed fabric? So we've got this one here, which I think would be good for the Nico dress. This is the slate blue narrow rib knit fabric, and it's a viscose polyester mix, but it's got like a nice thickness to it. It's nice and stretchy. It feels really warm and cozy, so I think it would be a good combination with the True Bias Nico, which is like a turtleneck, quite fitted sort of dress. And then we've got coat / jacket patterns for the rose checked fur lined fabric. So we have that back in. We do also have it in a blue and a caramel as well. So it's got this lovely sort of large scale check on one side and then a super cozy fur on the back. So I have seen people use the Friday Pattern Company Ilford for that one. The I Am Patterns Gaston jacket also looked good. And the Grain Line Tamarack, you could use that one too. You just need to get you'd have to have some kind of contrasting binding on it though for the Tamarack that has binding all around the edge. Okay, the next one was, I recently bought some of the indigo wool jersey. That was the one I just showed you, but struggling to find a top pattern. The Friday Pattern Company Bateau, I think would be a nice one. It's quite a new one that's been popular. And then I also think the Soul House 7 Toaster sweater, the version 2 that's got that sort of little, I think the neckline on that would look nice in that one too. And that fabric too. Okay, I've got a couple of questions left, so if anybody does have any other questions, let me know them now. So we've got a pattern for a duffel coat, 8-year-old child. So there's the Oliver and S school days jacket and coat, but the top size is age 8. So I guess you'd have to just check the measurements and sort of see if that was going to be compatible. The Ikati Sam Kids Parker vest, it's 3 to 12 years. It would just need a little bit of adaptation because it's not totally a duffel coat, but I think you could make it work. You just need to change how like the toggle things were, but I think that would be easy to do. And then the Ikati Grand Rose, again, it's there's a 3 to 12 year option for that one too. It's not quite a duffel coat shape either, but it is similar and it's very simple to sew, so a few to check out there. And then finally we've got fabric for a blazer, not a black/grey but colourful. So I've got a few colours of our herringbone wool, which I think are nice and colourful and would be good for a blazer. This one here is the blue wide herringbone wool fabric. So it's got a few tones of blue in it, which is really nice and cosy as well, because it's 100% wool. And then we've got this one here, which is, this is the brick herringbone. Again, 100% wool. The herringbone is a bit narrower on this one. The herringbones were quite wider on that first blue one that I showed you. But again, quite a few different tones in there. So although it's, you know, it's more like a kind of plainer colour, there is nice texture in there too, in a few different shades. And then this one's definitely very colourful and bright. I love this one. This one is the cerise herringbone wool. It's probably more, the width of those herringbones are probably more similar to the blue one that I showed you. And again, lots of really nice colour tones in that one as well. So some lovely options there. Okay, so what other things have I missed? I've just bought the blue fur back check to make the Style Arc Logan jacket. Yeah. That's a good combination. That'll work really nicely. Can anyone on here recommend a sewing holiday? Would you recommend pre-washing / pre-treating wool before sewing? I think it depends what you're making. If you're making a coat, then probably not. Or you could just steam it, give it a really good steam with the iron. But then if it's maybe like a kind of lighter weight wool, maybe you're making some trousers, more like a suiting, some of them can be machine washed on a wool setting. You'd have to just do a little test to see if it shrunk or not. So yeah, I think you need to consider how you're going to care for it after you've made the garment, and then that will inform the best way to think about pre-treating or washing it. Size Me run sewing retreats in France. Ooh la la, very nice. The Sew Different retreats are great. They are in Yorkshire and they do one in France too. Poppy and Jazz have a duffel coat pattern with toggles. It's lovely. I think the top size age in that is age 6 though, so it's a little bit more limited. Would the cerise wool work for a simple straight skirt? Assume you need to line it with a polyester lining. It would work for a simple straight skirt. You would need to line it with something slippery, but you can get viscose slippery lining, which is just a bit more breathable than polyester lining. Can you wash the wool jersey in the sewing machine? TBC, I don't actually know. I've not tested it. The supplier that we get it from is like, they sell a lot of dead stock fabrics, so the washing instructions don't come from the supplier because they don't know. So in that case, usually I just have to like basically wash half a meter and see what happens. I think it probably would be okay. It's quite a dense fabric, so usually, you know, like something like this is got, you know, it is like a bit of a looser weave. So if you machine wash something like this, I think it would really like constrict and like contract. But then if like the fibres or like the individual strands of what is like woven or knitted the wool are very fine and they're like quite dense together, then I find generally that they tend not to shrink as much, because they're already like quite compacted together. So I think it probably would be okay on like a cold wool wash. But as I said, I haven't actually tested it, so yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one. Okay, so that is the end of all of my questions. Thank you everybody for those who sent in questions beforehand. I love hearing what you're all up to and what you're sewing and everything. And then, as I said in the beginning, this is the last Q&A for 2023. So we'll be back again 2024. And I'm not entirely sure of the date yet because I forgot to check. Someone will be able to tell me, but I think the 1st of January is a Monday. So I'll maybe just need to see what's happening at the time as to whether I do one then or not, because sometimes the wash, still talking about washing machines, sometimes the shop is still just a bit sort of busy and hectic at that time of year, so it might be that it's not ideal for me to do it, but I'll see how I get on. If not, then it'll be the Monday afterwards anyway. But yeah, thank you for all your wishes. I do wish you all a very wonderful Christmas, and thank you so much for watching and listening to me chat about fabric and sewing over this year. Thank you for all your lovely happy Christmas messages. That's very kind. So yeah, we'll still be, you know, I'll still be on Instagram. We've still got lots of newsletters coming out and everything. Definitely make sure you're signed up to the newsletter. There's some exciting things coming there. And I hope you really do have a lovely Christmas. And I'm gonna miss you, but I'll chat to you soon next year. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good night. Bye.